If you will, please stand and worship with us today.
Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Are you fully trusting in His grace?
right. Thank you, ladies. At this time, I'd like to introduce our pastor to you. And I'll tell you, here at Cross Community, we pretty foolish over Steve and Benita. We think he's what makes the hot and tot so hot, okay? All right. And I'd say the grandkids thinks he's the one that puts ape in apricot, okay? Brother Steve, you come on up here, brother. We love you.
Amen. It's almost all right in here this morning, isn't it? Oh, what a good-looking crowd. We're so thankful for all of you coming and being a part of this special day. What's happening here today is the fact that in this neighborhood and in our area and in our community, we're letting folk know that we're open for business. Give the Lord a hand. Will you do that? We appreciate what God's been doing, and we sure do appreciate all of you coming and joining us in being a part of this very special day. So that's what this day's about. I know we've got a lot of, this is a little different this morning. This is not our normal, I don't know, it's hardly ever normal around here. I don't know what your normal is, but it's never really normal around here. And we just expect God to do whatever God sees fit for us to do. And that's what we try to follow here at Cross Community. But before I get too much into what I've got to say, I'm going to ask Heath and Michelle, wherever they are. Where's Michelle? Yeah, we need her too. You're going to ride this pine with him this morning. Good Lord, Tim, you got more notes than I got. Oh, that's Heath's notes. Come on up here, brother. Amen. This is Heath and Michelle Efird. I have struggled with this for weeks. I thought, how do you put into words the appreciation and the gratitude that this church has for this man and for his family? I was mindful, and I'm going to try my best. Brother Scott, I'm going to try my best not to preach this. This isn't my message, but I was looking in God's Word, and I was thinking about Heath and all that he has put in to this great work, and I could not help but think all the way back to 2 Kings. I think it's about chapter 6. You will find the prophet Elisha was approached by his young prophets, the young preacher boys, that's the way I put it. The young preacher boys came to the prophet Elisha and told him, he said, the place that we're in, he said, is too small. Yeah. And they told Elisha, said, we need something bigger and better. Yeah. All for God's glory. We need something bigger and better. And you know what Elisha told them? He said, get after it. Yeah. And they went after it. Now, I know one of them boys lost an axe head in the middle of this thing, but they got it built. And then I was mindful over in the book of Ezekiel, where Ezekiel was in his day. Ezekiel looked at the time he was living in, and God was speaking to him, and Ezekiel said, he said, God looked for a man. God was looking for a man that there was a need, and they needed a man to step in that gap. He said, I need someone to take up the hedge and stand in the gap. And Ezekiel says, but he couldn't find one in that day. Now, since that day, there have been many that have stood and filled gaps for God's people, for the local church. There's been many that's had to step in when nobody else could do it. You had to have that one that would step in and take up the reins and said, we'll make it happen. God's still looking for people today that'll still do that, stand in the gap, take up and make up the hedge of God. Though Ezekiel couldn't find one, we did. Yes, sir. This church was longing and looking to get out of that little hole we were in. See, people in this community didn't take you serious for a while. They said it's going to be another fly-by-night church right here in Stanley County. They said they're not going far. They said they're having a little issues, they're having little problems, and that's why they're in the back of that warehouse building. We're here today to let folk in Stanley County know that we're not playing anymore. We're here to let people in this community know that Jesus Christ still reigns and lives. And that's who we're promoting. But we needed somebody to stand in the gap. And I'll let Heath talk about it a little bit. But I want to talk a little bit about Heath. His sacrifice and all that he give. This is our project manager that made this possible. Everything you look around today, I want to say this. You will not find a man that is more detail-minded than Heath Efird. You'll not find one. He needed to fill in the gap. He needed to take up the hedge, and he done exactly what God told him to do. I think about his sacrifice of his time, of his own money, of his family time, all those nights of answering the telephone and making phone calls to see if they're going to show up with the stuff tomorrow. Many people in this church have no idea, and they do not know what all was involved in a building project of this size. And Heath made it happen. He, with God's direction, made this happen. So I want to introduce to you this morning our project manager, Heath Efird. We owe it to him.
I appreciate it. Love you, brother. Well, guys, thank you so much. This wasn't about me at all. Kind of makes it hard to get up here and talk to you guys after that singing and that introduction that don't feel worthy at all.
Sure. Get you some. Why you up there? Get you some.
Yeah, I did. It's just a humbling experience, guys. It really is. I want to start out by saying good morning, and I just want to thank everyone for being here today and celebrating a special time with Cross Community Church. It's just a special blessing to see all these church members and family members, friends, and visitors out here. Just a beautiful, beautiful crowd. We was hoping we'd have every chair filled, but I want to thank each and every one of you for coming and being here and making this a special service for us. Thank each and every one of you. In a message that our pastor Steve preached years ago, after he got through preaching that message, he actually prayed for divine favor for Cross Community Church. Yeah. And I still remember that prayer very well. Yeah. And myself and others have prayed that prayer for this church over and over and over again since that, for God's divine favor to be on this church. And our prayer also was that this church will be a lighthouse for God's work in the community. So, but with divine favor, what a concept that is. And this is something that each and every one of us should be praying for each other, divine favor. We should be praying for our other churches for divine favor, God's divine favor to be on our other churches. It should be praying for divine favor over our towns, our cities, our state, and our nation and our leaders. Even the world, as a matter of fact, divine favor. What a concept that is. So I appreciate that prayer, Pastor. That was years ago you prayed that, and Michelle and I definitely hadn't forgotten it. We was up at 2:30 this morning, and as you know, I don't have writers, okay? I'm not like our politicians where I have writers to write. I'm not a speaker for number one. Let's get that clear. So Michelle and I was up just jotting down some notes, and the reason I brought notes is so I would stay on task. Not that I cannot forget stuff, but I want you to understand whenever, from where this church came from, we're going to talk about that a little bit, and we got some slides to show you guys, but from where we came from with this property, from the former use to what it is now, 5 years later, and how many hundreds of people have prayed, given, worked. How can I get up here and not forget somebody's name or what they done? I was only here for a short period of time, throughout the last year when we was building it. I wasn't here every minute of every day. So, to forget somebody's picture or whatever, not take it or whatever. And I just want to give everybody credit because it's literally an army of people that made this happen. This is not about me at all. It's all about God's work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But for anything I done, I'm very well aware that God's the one that gave me the talent, the money, the ability, the knowledge. He gave it to me all.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a very humble experience for me to be here with you all today, to see how God has blessed Cross Community Church and transformed this particular property from what it was 5 years ago, where it was previously used as a bootleg joint for many, many years.
It was.
That's a fact.
Yes, it was.
So,
Been there.
And I think Donnie Hugh, is that right? Where's Mr. Gerald? Donnie Hugh, is that right? Donnie Hugh,
Yes,
this
sir.
was Donnie Hugh's bootleg joint. And so you can see some of the stuff. You can go ahead and play that, Wes, it's fine. This will show you some of the property when we first got here, of how much trash was on the property, the old structures that was here, literally thousands and thousands and thousands of beer bottles, liquor bottles, tires, mattresses, stuff that had just been thrown out of the houses and out of the old bootleg joint. When we first started, all these pictures that you're seeing is literally where the church is now in our parking lot. So it's not like this is way off the back of the property. Everything that you're going to see is literally where we at, okay? And then we'll get into that, and then we'll show some more slideshows when we get through that. But that'll give you an idea when you're looking through of all the debris. There was three 30-yard roll-off containers that we hauled off that was just beer bottles and liquor bottles, literally thousands and thousands and thousands. Walker Shellhorn and Josh Gill and my marksmanship team from Greystone marksmanship team, I had them come over here and we worked 2 or 3 different days trying to get that, everything picked up and debris out here. Before we brought equipment in, we didn't want to run over all these glass bottles and it would just been glass everywhere. So we felt like we need to get all that picked up and get it out of here first. So from what the property was originally to what it is today is a huge difference. And you'll see in these slides as we go through as well how much cleanup was needed from the previous use of the property. I'm going to divide this up in 2 groups the best that I can, guys. And like I said, there's no way I can do this justice, but I'm going to go as hard as I can, thank as many people as I can. I'm going to divide it up into 2 groups. And if you would please hold your applause to the end just for time's sake, I'd like to go through a list of the subcontractors that helped us and done a very extremely good job for us, and like to give a shout out to each and every one of these real quick if I could. Travis Hatley with Hatley Plumbing. I know Amber, his wife, had texted me and said they'd love to be here, but their son Zachary is actually graduating from school and they're having it at their church today, so they couldn't be here. I think it was 3 different of the companies, their parents or loved ones, nephews, nieces was actually graduating today at their church and couldn't be here. I know people are on vacation, different things as well, but thank you for the ones that are here. Alpine Pumping Service, you'll see their trucks in a minute. They pump the slab, concrete that you're sitting on today. JML Concrete, they poured all of our concrete, including our slab, our curb and gutter outside, all of our sidewalks, parking, and driveways, except for the actual footings and the columns where the steel columns are at. And Walker Shellhorn, that's part of our church family, poured those, dug those, and we'll talk about him because he's in the pictures as well. The Bug Lady, and I don't know her first name, I call her the Bug Lady. I have her on my phone as the Bug Lady, so I'm sorry. But She done the extermination for us as far as the bugs and stuff goes, and I invited them as well. Carolina Specialty Services, that we were so blessed that our church family members had, from huge trucks to move dirt, bulldozers, you're going to see all this stuff, track hoes, skid steers, I mean, all the different equipment that our church family members had, and brought their equipment to the church and didn't charge anything. No money at all, no fuel, and I mean, it's millions of dollars worth of equipment, and even the work that they done would have been hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of work, and never sent a bill to the church. So we'll get in that a little bit more as well, but I really appreciate what everybody done. The Steel Erectors, that's actually the company that actually obviously put the building up for us. G&D Steel Buildings, they done the roof for us, the standing seam roof. Danny Priest with Priest Architect out of Charlotte, he actually drew the building for us. Hex Contractors helped put up the metal studs, insulation in the walls, the sheetrock, and they done the drop ceiling as well. Great company to work for, done a great job. Carolina Glass Company done all of our windows and doors for us. Far City Heating and Air put in our 7 heating and air systems in this church. There's 2 10-ton heating and cooling units just in this sanctuary. There's 20 tons of heating and cooling. We're only running 1 10-ton unit. There's only one of them on of the 2, and it'll completely run you out of here. So that was Far City Heat and Air. City Electric, Mr. David over at City Electric, that's where we bought all of our electrical stuff. They've done us a great job, and that's also who we rented from. That was our current owners of the building that we rented at, where our church was at. But Mr. David over at City Electric, they've done us a great job. Matt Crump with M&R Electrical. I've got Mr. Chris with us here today that works with Matt. Appreciate you being here, Chris. But Matt Crump with M&R Electric. Trevor and Wayne, they run Blue Dot Concrete. They've done a very good job of helping us negotiate price. Blue Dot Company, and they just bought out C.K. Earnhardt's over here and put a concrete plant there where the asphalt plant used to be. Rusty Russell, Roger Russell Grading, done our asphalt out here for our road. Grant A. Helms Construction, he done all of our brickwork and rock work on our front columns out front. You'll see pictures of them as well. Mr. Rodney Malden, he has URA Door Company. They're up in the New London area. He done all of our fire-rated doors, panic hardware, of our interior doors, and done all the hardware in the bathroom as well, all the stalls and grab bars and that type of stuff, and the mirrors in the bathroom. They done a great job. Terry Hatley over at Albemarle Home Solutions, that's where we got all of our flooring and our carpet from. C&G Granite, Mr. Juan and his family's here. Thank you so much, Juan, for you and your family being here. Lovely family and wife. Thank you for all you've done. Great company to work for, man. Anything we've ever needed, you've never said, tried to lead us a different way because it was an easier way. Whatever we have ever needed from you, you've always, will make it happen. Thank you so much, Juan. So we got Tiago Nunes, and that's the hardwood floors. This was awfully snapped together floor, but that's the name of his company, Tiago Nunes Hardwood Floors. They put our floor system in, done us a really good job. I'll tell you something on him really quick. All these people you're hearing, you can ask each one of them, ask them if I negotiated price with them, or if I just told them to come do it. Ask them that question. Because I promise you, I negotiated price with everybody that done everything in this building, I promise. Because I tried to save us every single penny that I could save us. We made God's money go as far as we possibly make it go. I give you my word of that. So, but anyway, so I asked him, I said if he could do it for a certain price, and he looked at me and he started smiling. We were standing right there. And he said, was looking around in the sanctuary. He said, Heath, do you know how many years it's been since I laid floor for that amount of money? And I looked at him and I grinned and I said, well, you're in God's house, number one. And I said, but number two, how many years has it been since you had a 4,000 square foot open room that you didn't have to go around walls and doors and all that stuff for? You think you'll be able to make up a little time in that? He looked around, he looked at me and grinned, he said, we'll do it. I said, I thought you would. So super excited about that, because originally, I'll say this real quick while I'm on it, originally we had told our congregation we would not have enough money to do hardwood or put floors down, we would not have new chairs or a storage building, okay? We was going to actually put epoxy and just paint the floor until we could do better. But because of the negotiating of prices and what all of the church family has given and donated without turning in bills, that's why we had money for the beautiful chairs that you guys are sitting in, the beautiful flooring that's put down, the cove base, in the storage building and so many extra things that we didn't think would have the money. That's the reason that we have this stuff. So thank you to everyone on that also. Okay, we have Sweetwater Design, Miss Jennifer. Is Eddie Signs as well at Baden. It's a Sweetwater. It's two different companies, but she owns both of them. She's done our signs and doing our signs for our hallways, for our classrooms. We don't have those yet. Really, really good to work with. Mr. Pat Davis, Scrap Metal, and he also the dumpster company that hauled all the dumpsters off. Was talking about those beer bottles and liquor bottles, and he told me when he'd go haul them off, he said, Heath, he said, I'm cutting you a heck of a deal. He said, because just the dump fees on this, because our glass was so heavy. A lot of them still had a little bit of water in them, had dirt in them from the years. Some of them was buried 2 and 3 layers deep, was having to dig them out with mattocks and shovel because they was buried. What you were seeing in the pictures, just what was laying on the surface. And then there was layers from 20, 30, 40 years that was buried underneath. Okay, so Sewing Through Sound, that's Mr. Jerry Harrison. He helped us finish hooking up the sound system after Wes and Mike helped us move everything over and get everything from the old building over to here and get our wires pulled and our speakers and everything set up. Mr. Jerry Harrison come and helped us fine-tune all the sound. Really appreciate him. Lynn Howe, parking lot striping, striped all of our parking lot for us. Mr. Dustin was Southern Marble. He put in the countertops in the bathrooms, done a great job on those as well. Buddy and Darren Poplin installed the cabinets for us. So that is the main group of subcontractors that I would say are not necessarily church family or church family members. I'm going to talk about those in a minute because there's more of them in the slides. A lot of these folks I didn't take pictures of. Okay, I have some pictures that you'll see as we go through. And I know this is bad. It's negligence on my part, and I apologize, and I'm sorry. Okay, like I said, I wasn't here all the time, but also I was putting more pictures up for our church family each week or every 2 or 3 weeks just to kind of show them what we were doing. So obviously if there was church family in it, I was taking more pictures than if it was not. And I should have been taking more pictures, but we went through hundreds and hundreds just to get it down to what we have. So sorry about that. Okay, so but I would like everybody to give them a round of applause. These are a lot of great subcontractors. Okay, we're going to talk about some more real quick. Gary Steele, one of my great friends. He's been like a brother to me. We've been friends and worked together doing electrical work for about 30 years now. And he came down to help me put the fire alarm system in and hook it up, and it took me days and days just to get him here. And I could get it done by myself, but I mean, Gary's just so good programming and wiring. Mr. Eddie helped us, and the 3 of us worked on that fire alarm system to get it all done and tested and put in. And he got ready to leave. He'd been here hours and hours working. I got ready to pay Gary. I was in the truck right out front here at the front doors, and I said, brother, how much do I owe you? And he looked at me and grinned. He said, brother, that debt was paid over 2,000 years ago. That's what he said. He said that debt was paid over 2,000 years ago. He said, I love you like a brother. Have a good night. He shut his door and he's left. So there's just so many people that done that, and I want to thank you. And look, even the ones we wrote checks to, I want you to understand, they gave us good prices for the church. Okay, I'm just telling you, they had to have money, obviously. I'm just saying, even those folks gave our church a heck of a deal, and we wouldn't be here without them. I want everybody to understand that. Okay, well, the next slides we're about to see, most of them are church families, and they have given their time, talent, and the use of their equipment, fuel, materials, labor, their personal labor, as well as their employees' compensation, and most of them did not send bills. I don't know who gives what to this church. I don't know, okay? My wife and Miss Donna Teeter count all the money. Not one time ever have I asked her who gives. I don't know what my wife gives. We have separate checking accounts. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know what my wife gives. I have no idea. I don't know what my parents give, my brother, or my kids. I don't know. I don't know what anybody gives. None of my business. I got to focus on Heath. That's enough. I promise. It's plenty. So I just need to do what I'm supposed to do. And so with that being said, I want you to understand, I don't know who gave everything. I do not know. But because I was sort of over this project, all the bills come to me. So I know who got checks. And I know who did get checks because there wasn't no bills turned in. Right. That much I do know. So, and with that being said, the pictures you're going to see up here, I would literally have to fuss at them multiple times because the people I'm going to give credit to, that ain't why they done it either. Just like I didn't want no credit. This is not what they wanted. Okay, so but I want to give them a shout out. This is the last time that we're going to do this, I'm assuming. But I really appreciate what they've given to our church, and that's the reason it was as far as we've gotten along. Okay, but they did not want to be in these pictures. Most of them, when it comes to their pictures, and I say something about them, I won't look at them directly. But if you'll look at them directly, they'll be looking at the ground. They won't even be looking at me. They don't want the notoriety. So, but they done it for the right reason. They really did. And so many people spent hundreds and hundreds, thousands of hours, thousands of gallons of diesel fuel, tens of thousands of dollars in grading and landscaping and seed and straw and fertilize. No bills given. None. They wasn't turned in. So that's incredible. Okay, so let me see where I'm at. I'm still doing good. I really am, I promise. I'm getting through it pretty good. Okay, I'm sorry for leaving anyone out. Like I said, if I leave anybody's names out, pictures out, I apologize. I want to say it again. I'm going to do the best I can, but I apologize. There's just so many people to thank, and there's no way I can do it justice in 15 or 20 minutes. I could literally stand up here for 5 hours and thank everybody for what they've done. That's how many people have done things, and I still couldn't do it justice in 5 hours. I want to thank the building team. Number one, I want to start out by thanking the building team. It's down to Brother Joe Ritchie and Michelle and I. We were the last three that were left on the building team, okay? So, Brother Joe, thank you so much for your leadership, all your help, what you've contributed, what you give, what you've done, your knowledge, your wisdom. Just one of the smartest men I know, and I want to thank you for everything that you've given. And Miss Jan, thank you so much for all your insight and knowledge. You and Michelle helping picking out all these beautiful colors and all the time y'all put into it. Thank y'all so much for helping and being on the building team and helping us get pushed through the finish line and getting to the end. And Michelle, thank you for your help so much. And people don't know, like I said, what Michelle, I know how many hours she was up at 1 and 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, like we was working on this at 2:30 this morning. So after we come and set up chairs last night, and all of us was here, and we'll talk about that too. But so many people, she helps do the bookwork for us, the decorating, and Miss Jan and Michelle, they help go through and, like I said, pick out the colors of the chair, the floor, and the vinyl cove base, and just so many things to make it look as well as it does. And I really want to thank them for that. A lot of time and effort and money that went into that. So that's the building team. The first Sunday team, I know Brother Tim's already mentioned it, but thank you guys so much. I know y'all had a lot of meetings and put this together. Thank you for all the signage and all the work, the bags, the gift bags you guys done, and all the work y'all put into it as well. Thank each and every one of you for putting this on today. I know they mentioned also Mr. Joe and Dave, but I want to put them down. Guys, I thank y'all yesterday, but thank y'all so much. Y'all spent hours yesterday coming and setting your equipment up, practicing. Thank y'all so much for being here and giving your time and talents to God. I really appreciate it. Thank both of you for that. Joshua Gill. Joshua couldn't be here because Courtney, his fiance, is graduating from her parents' church. They had it here with us last Sunday. They're at her parents' church today, so they couldn't be here. Josh was in the sound room back there where Wes is now, and he worked for 3 or 4 hours on this slideshow for me. I didn't even know what all slides he put in because Uncle Gene, my wife Michelle, Miss Jan, Ashton, we were all unpacking chairs and putting chairs in and cleaning up and sweeping and mopping and doing all that stuff and trying to put things in the chairs, getting it ready for today while Josh was up there getting the slideshow ready for us. So I really appreciate everything he's done. He's done so much for this church and helps us in the slide room at all. But and Uncle Gene, I can't say enough about you. You just here all the time. I mean, I have no idea how many thousands of hours that you put in over here and the work you put in. I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and start with a slideshow, if that's okay, please. This is Uncle Gene tearing down the house, the old house structure that was here. So that was him and his track co tearing it down. That is Tim Thompson Brother Tim is in the truck, and that's a walk-in bed truck. I don't know the correct name for it. You guys could tell me, but it's an 18-wheeler, and it's a walk-in bed truck. So Uncle Gene was loading it, and then Brother Tim was hauling it off and then dumping it for us to get all that stuff off of here after we cleaned the beer bottles and all that liquor bottles and all that type stuff up. This is Jeff Shaver and his crew. Brother Jeff has passed away now. He died a couple months ago, but that was Jeff, and what a blessing it was for them. They came. We were actually going to hire a company, it was a tree company, and they was going to pay them to clear an acre. And they gave us a great price. Some of the prices up to $10,000 per acre. And then we got a guy for $2,000 an acre. And so we said, well, that's awesome. And then we talked to Brother Jeff, and he said, well, Heath, you have enough timber here, not only could possibly not cost you anything. We might could get you a couple $1,000s back. So we wound up, clearing 5 or 6 acres and wound up getting a small back to the church. So instead of clearing 5 acres and paying $10,000, wound up getting $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 back. That was a huge swing from spending $10,000 to getting $2,000 or $3,000 back to cut the same timber. So that's what I was saying as far as trying to make God's money go as far as it possibly would to get to the point we are. So appreciate all the logging that they done. The next couple pictures will be of them logging as well. They done a great job, cleaned everything up. And that was the old road system. If you'll see, back up one west if you don't mind. You see the barricades there, the concrete barricades. When we bought this property, Brother Joe Teeter come by one day coming to church and looked up this road, and it was just grew up, as you can see, and it was actually worse than that to start out with. It was the canopy was grown up down the road. Obviously nothing was cleared. And the city had put those barricades up and had kind of gated it off because people was using it just for trash and mischief stuff. They were just into no good because they could go back here and hide at the cul-de-sac and nobody would know they were back there. So when we purchased a property, all those concrete barriers was up there, and then of course we had to get those removed. But that's what if you look down the road, that's what it looked like before all the timber and stuff was cut on it. And this is when we started clearing. You're going to see the pictures of the guys. We'll talk about those. But all the bulldozers that you see, the track hoes that you're going to see, the big, huge trucks, the hauls of dirt, loaders, dozers, front-end loaders, all that is Jason Thompson, Thompson Grading. That's his equipment there. There's the big, what do you call the big trucks? What now? Rock truck, okay. A rock truck, bulldozer. That you see the equipment there. Some of the track hoes are Uncle Gene's. The other track hoes are Jason's. There's the whole group of the family. Jason Thompson's all the way on the end. I believe the next one's Uncle Gene. It's hard for me to see here. Is that Uncle Gene? Yeah, okay. Second one's Uncle Gene. Third one's Gary. Fourth one's Mr. Culp. He's sitting back here. Thank you, Mr. Culp, for being here. Appreciate you being here. Mr. Gerald, he also works for Jason, and that's Mr. Danny that helps. So all these guys donated their time, and like I said, all the equipment was either Uncle Gene's with Gene Shaver Backhoe or Jason Thompson's, and they brought all the equipment in, all the labor, fuel. Brother Joe Rich, you don't get mad at me. Brother Joe said, look, I can't run equipment, guys. He said, but I got a couple of dollars and I can buy some fuel. So y'all just tell me how much fuel you need and I'll buy the fuel. So he spent thousands of dollars and bought a bunch of fuel and to fill up the equipment, because I mean, when all of them running at one time burns hundreds of gallons of fuel, very expensive. So thank you, Brother Joe, for everything that you've done. Okay, this is Brother West brought his Laurel up. I think this is when they were unpacking the actual building. Yep, this is when the building was actually unpacked after they got it graded off. He brought his big machines in and unloaded everything to save the church from money from having to rent equipment. So we got everything unloaded on the ground. They covered up with tarps. He went to the cotton gin and got tarps that they had used and covered over everything. You can see it in now Walker's here to dig the footings, but if you'll see the tarps behind where we unloaded it, he had everything covered up and very well taken care of. This is Walker Shellhorn. He's been to our church for a good while. He and his fiancee Eliza. Guys, he's a young man, he's in his 20s, he's on my marksmanship team. He worked for this company. That's Walker and his dog, he and his fiancee Eliza's dog Smoke, Chocolate Lab, very, very smart dog. But Walker came out, he had worked for this company for a year and a half, this footing company, Piedmont Footings out of Salisbury. He wound up buying the company, and within a couple months, he was here doing all this work for us and never sent us a bill. And I know he needed money. There's no question. I mean, he literally just bought this company. And within a few weeks, he's here working for us for, days and days. He was here a week working. And paid his guy out of his new company that he had just purchased and needed to be making money, and he still never sent the church a bill. So I really appreciate that. Just showing you the footings when we put in, the rebar work was just a tremendous amount of rebar. There was thousands and thousands of feet of rebar that went in for the foundation and underneath the floor system of this church, and then all the pillars as well. That's the bug lady and her son, I think. They were spraying for us for the slab before we got ready to pour it. The plastics are down, but I mean, you can see all the rebar. It's literally metal, just unbelievable in this building. All right, this is another video. This video is very special to me. It's the last video. It's very short. If you'll look at it, that's Brother Tim Thompson on that corner. Joe Teeter is in this back corner. There's Brother Joe Teeter standing up, and he's on this corner. He's right there. And Eric is right there. That's Eric. And Brother Tim was in this corner, and then I'm going to come up this side right here, and Uncle Gene is on this corner. So I asked the elders if they would all come and be on the four corners, the pillar stones of our church, and pray at the same time before we poured the concrete. And I wanted all four of them here at the exact same time praying for this to be a blessing, for it to be a transformation, and for lost souls to be won. Yeah. That's what this is all about. Yeah. And the church is the only business that's open for the non-members and non-believers, right? Yeah. So, but that was very special to me to have the four elders, and I'm an elder as well, but I went to the front door, because I didn't want to be on a sidewall, and I wanted them to be on the four corners, and I said, well, I'll just go to the front door, because that's where they're going to come in at. So I thought that was pretty cool to be at the door in the four corners, and we was all praying, and that was to me, that was very touching. That was very touching and special to me, it really was. This is Alpine Pumping, I told you we'd talk about. We started I think it was about 3:50 in the morning. And believe it or not, I took that picture because you won't see me in the morning at 3:50 unless I hadn't been to bed yet, because I don't get up that early in the morning because I stay up so late. But the moon, you can see the moon in the boom, the full moon up in the boom of the M. I thought that was really cool, so I took that picture and we got ready to start pouring. This is Mr. Terry Lewis, and his son Tyler also helped with the footings as well. They're coming back from the coast today. That's why they couldn't be here today. I think he said the coast. I think that's what Tyler told me. There's Walker again. And this company is the JML Concrete. This is the ones that poured our slab and our sidewalks, walks, roads, and all that type stuff. But they done a super, super, super good job. Great, great people to work with. This one, they started erecting the building, obviously, getting our steel up. Take several pictures of it as well. Inside when it was almost cleaned up, now it's in the dry there. That's the steel frame building. That's the Hex company. Hex contractors help put us up all the steel studs and, like I said, the insulation in the walls for the interior insulation. This right here was our cleanup, and I think it was cleaning up that day. Is that what we're doing that day? That's Gary, Tina, Aunt Robin, Eddie, Uncle Gene, myself, and Misty and John. And that means that Wes was taking the picture to Jack Leg. He's supposed to be in the picture, and I'm supposed to be taking the picture. He tricked me. Another picture they tricked me on. This is Mr. Eddie painting. Back up one second, Wes, if you would, please. That's Mr. Eddie and myself and my mom, Dora, and then that's Josh. Josh, like I said, Josh helped us paint. He helped me paint these big spiral duct works, and he just done so much as well. And Mr. Eddie was here virtually every day. That's when we was painting the spiral duct work. Mr. Eddie was helping me pull wire, trying to pull the Cat 5, Cat 6 wire and RG 59 wire. And that's Brother Joe Teeter and Brother Eddie and Josh and John there helping us paint. Eric and Rebecca, that was actually taken right here. Mr. Eddie back to painting again on the doors. That's Levi, he works with me. I had him up there painting. Mr. Eddie painting again. Mr. John filling sheetrock. And that's Larry that works with me and Levi that worked with me. They were painting. That was Buddy and Darren, his son. They had installed the cabinets for us. And this is where Juan and his family and his crew comes in, done a great job. They done our granite countertops, all of our backsplash, grouted everything up, done an incredible job. The sinks, countertops. They do quartz, granite, everything. So they're here in town local. They do an incredible job. So this is the same concrete company that was putting in our curb and gutter for the asphalt to go down. And then Rusty had come back and done our base binder down. We still got to put our top coat on, but that's a base binder down. Eric and Uncle Gene, Rebecca, they was coming to put dirt in. Uncle Gene would take his big track hoe and set the dirt across so we didn't have to move it over once the sidewalks was poured, and Eric would smooth everything down. This is Tiago Nunez. They was the flooring guys inside working. That's when they was getting started working. I'll tell you a quick story on them because we're doing pretty good on time, not too bad. They'd already started in the hallway and it was about halfway down the hallway. And he heard one of his guys say something about, man, this is nice. We don't have to put the vapor barrier underneath it. They were just sticking it down. And he heard him say that. And he come to me and said, Heath, we got to put a vapor barrier under here. And I said, yes, sir, you do. And he told his guy, he said, all right, take it all back up. They were so excited because they wasn't having to put a vapor barrier because nobody said nothing about it. And then they had to take it all up and start over. Here's my main man in the whole world. It's the best man that's my dad, Steve Efird. He's the man. He is the man. That's Mr. Bill that works with Eric. That's Dad and Mr. Bill. Rebecca. That's Eric talking to Dad. That's Mr. Eddie, still painting. Bless his heart. He's still going. He probably is now. I don't know where he's at. He's probably out there painting something now. He stays going all the time. But Eric got the landscaping done. Like I said, the debark, the mulch. Wes, no. You put all them pictures of me. You better back up. No. Yeah, that's right. You need to get out that light. No. You got me in there. Okay, this is Jackson, his nephew. Jack Lane? That's Wes and Jackson. They blow the straw. Guys, straw was so expensive. I don't know if you bought any straw lately or not, but it's like $100 a bale. I kept picking on Wes, and I was like, "You're blowing out gold. It's not really straw. It's just blowing out gold." But he put out the grass seed. That's he and Misty putting out the straw. She helped so much cleaning. Wes did let her run the blower one time. That didn't work out quite as well as we had planned. But other than that, Misty done an absolutely incredible job. Gary and Uncle Gene dug all of these trenches in. They piped all of our downspouts off. You see how deep they put them in to get the water away from the building so we didn't have water issues. What a blessing. Grant Helms Construction, that's Grant and his guys putting in the rock in the Grant. They done a beautiful job on the rock columns. Highly recommend those guys. Done a great job. That was just a sunset that actually somebody else had come by and stopped and taken on the church there. That was back early, obviously. Next picture, that's Uncle Gene and Gary working, doing more grading. They was over here grading. Uncle Gene had, but one big step we missed was like all the stumps after Mr. Jeff Shaver cut all the trees, and then Jason brought all his guys with Gary and Uncle Gene to clear the land. Uncle Gene had to dig all the stumps up. So he spent days over here digging all the stumps up off all this property and hauling them off to the back just so we could get it cleared. I don't know how many hours they worked over here, so many. That's the concrete guys forming up again. Uncle Gene and Gary putting more gravels and filling in, getting ready for the concrete to be poured. That's a great group right there, guys. I'm telling you, a super good guy. Those concrete guys are the best. I just don't want y'all to use them because they get so booked up and busy. It's hard for me to get them. So if they get too busy, they don't have time for me. So I don't need everybody to call them. Just like Juan, I want him to stay busy, but I want everybody to call him because then I won't get him when I need him. These are good guys, I'm telling you. They're the best. I promise they're the best. But the concrete looks good. The countertop, sheetrock. Guys, everybody done such a great job. They really did. And I do, like the preacher said, I do try to pay attention to detail, whether there's a line a quarter of an inch off or whatever. I just want it right. I want my work right anyway, but it's for the church. How can you do something too good for God? I mean that. How can you do something too good? And, when the preacher was giving me all the credit for all this stuff, but all I kept saying, what did God do for me? You think I can do enough back? There's no way. Not even. I can't give enough. I can't do enough. I can't think enough to give back for what he's done for me. That, just for me, not even counting my family, my church family, and everybody else. There's no way to pay him back. It's all his anyway. So this Eric and them landscaping, all the trees that were donated. The trees come off my dad's property. They bought the other plants. Like I said, no, I didn't see any bills on no landscaping, no grading, no seed, no straw, no fertilizer. Uncle Gene and Aunt Robin putting stuff together, the tables. I picked with Michelle and I said everything she bought was IKEA and it had 12 billion screws and bolts and nuts we had to put together. There's two of my buddies. I'll make sure I get it right. Devin and Destiny, right? Did I do it right? Devin and Destiny, right? Yep. And they come and help put stuff together. Destin come and help work. They help move stuff and do stuff, help so much. That's Travis with Hatley Plumbing. Who knows who that is?
David Smith.
That's Mr. David. He's putting our carpet on our stage up here for us. This was our cleaning crew, chair crew. We had unboxed chairs and cleaned and put stuff together. What a great group right there. Oh, man, we worked that night. Mike and his whole family and Wes and Mr. Eddie, and that's Jason and Yeah. Jesse and Jason, and I only asked Jason about 50 times to look up so I could take one picture. Nah, not one. 50 times. Jason, please, man, just give me just one. Just give me. No, I ain't having. So, and when I start talking about him in a minute, when we get there, you'll look at him. He won't be looking at me. He'll be looking at his feet. I would like to say about this cross, guys, this is a really big blessing. I'll try to spend just a minute on this. This cross is a really big deal. It come off of Joe and Donna Teeter's farm. They carried it to the Thompson sawmill, to Tim Thompson and Joel, to the family sawmill. It was sawed. It's made out of cedar. It was in our other church in the sanctuary for a few years, and we wanted to put it up and use it in here. So we run multiple ideas and scenarios of how we could get it up here. We was thinking about, making it stationary to the wall. And then Brother Chris that's sitting right here, that's one of our electricians, he and I were standing over here looking at it, and I said, I want to put that big cross right here, Chris. He said, well, Heath, you need to have it backlit. I was like, man, that's a good idea. I love it. I love it. More difficult, but I love it. I like it. And so, great idea, Chris. Thank you so much. So he said, we got to backlight it. I said, all right. Well, then I was thinking if I put supports to the wall, the light coming out behind the supports, then I was going to have shadows of the supports on the wall. So we couldn't do that. So then Wes and I come up with this idea of making a base, so there's a half-inch steel plate underneath here holding this column up, and then it slid down in it. So that way the cross is completely freestanding and not attached to the wall anywhere whatsoever. But just to build this out of steel, get it painted, Wes and them painted. He got Charlie involved. Sonny Till welded it for us, didn't send a bill. Charlie Smith up at Culp Lumber Company helped get the steel, get it cut and fabricated. They didn't send a bill. Culp Lumber Company didn't send a bill. Wes and all his guys didn't send a bill. 2 days it took to build this steel plate, put the frame in here, and us to stand it up. And you can see it was 9 of us to stand that cross up and put it in there. But it was, that to me, that was very emotional. We got it put in, and I was walking back around, and I said, woo! I'm sorry. Was that a little bit loud? I'm sorry. I was excited. And this is moving furniture in, the podium and stuff in, guys. But that cross, it just, to me, that just centerpiece was just absolutely a blessing. That was Miss Misty. She was in here cleaning, her and Michelle. Miss Anita, my mom. They so many people that's cleaned so much. And you'll see some pictures of them here. That's unpacking more chairs. That's when Mike and Melanie was with us helping. Marcia, excuse me, Mike and Marcia, not Melanie. Mike and Marcia. I got it right, Wes. Thank you for writing the name down. Thank you. Mike and Marcia helped unpack all these chairs and clean up. They was over here for days and days and days working. Brother Mike helped us with the sound system. Their family just done so much as well. You'll see, this is when we're at the old church, unboxing everything and getting it over here. After we had church service, and it was, we get out at 12:30. We all went home and eat. It was about 1:30. We met back at the church about 1:30 or 2 o'clock. Started unpacking everything. We had to trace all them wires back because we didn't wire it, so we didn't know where everything went. So we literally had to trace each wire, label them all, of all the sound systems, speakers, microphones, everything. And we didn't know where they all went. And this picture I took right here, Brother Mike, he was standing right there looking at the back of the soundboard like this, and that was about 11 or 11:30 at night. And we worked like 12 hours that night. 11 and a half, 12 hours, and you stay here till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, moving this stuff over to try to get it ready for our Wednesday night service just to get sound in the building. So, so much work, so many long hours at night, just absolute, truly blessing. But whenever I'm talking about the grading and stuff, guys, I know that Thompson Grading, Jason Thompson, his family, the time that they have given, I hadn't asked Jason, I'm going to be honest with you, but just the grading, how many hours and how much equipment and how many days it's spent here, it could have easily been over $100,000 just for the grading bill. I know for a fact the time that Uncle Gene and Cousin Gary put in over here, hundreds and hundreds of hours, thousands of hours, but hundreds and hundreds of gallons of fuel, their equipment, never sent a bill. And so many people in our family, our church family, that's why we was able to do what we was able to do and get this done, guys, and have flooring and have chairs and have carpet and that type of stuff. So thank you to everybody, all the cleaning and moving everything from the old church to this church. And what I'd love for everybody to do, because if you help in this church at all, if you've done anything for this church, okay, anything at all. If you cleaned up, if you picked up one piece of trash over here and done anything whatsoever, I'd like for you to stand up, please. If you would right now, please. Everybody done anything in this church. Anything at all. Anything. Okay. Okay. All right, hang on, don't sit down, we ain't done yet. We ain't done yet, don't sit down. Okay, if you've prayed for this church, if you have given anything for this church, or if you're in this church, will you please stand up, if you can? Okay, it took every one of us to make this moment happen. One large standing ovation, and I'm done. For everybody, thank y'all.
You're not done yet.
Hold up. You ain't getting off that easy. I need a microphone.
Here you go. 7.
All right. Got number 7. Oh, yeah. There we go. That right up here, Gene. All right, Heath. I know you don't want this. Come on this way, Michelle. Y'all get up here close. From the church, in appreciation for the time, energy, and love you put into serving as general contractor for Cross Community Church, your dedication, leadership, and positive attitude motivated others who were essential to the construction of the new building at 1260 Unity Drive. Thank you so much, Heath.
Amen.
Thank y'all so much, guys.
Amen.
Thank you, brother.
I noticed there's been an undertaking, and we're far from done yet. We're far from done yet. We appreciate Dave and Joe coming and singing and playing for us. We're asking them to come back now and sing a couple more songs for us. And